Hey, what's up, everyone? I know it's been a while since I've been here, and I appreciate all of you that have hung around and waited to see what's going on with me and haven't unsubscribed. But I'm sorry it took so long. I've just had some issues going on in my life and changes that I've needed to make, and they've been made. I'm still in a process of doing some things right now, but anyway, I've been on a little bit of a bumpy road here lately, but it's smoothing out now. But anyway, today's not really going to be too much about the Mandela Effect, and it's basically just a little bit of input I wanted to get from the community. I think that I'm a part of, and a lot of you guys know that I care about a lot of you, as I could think as much as anyone really could in this situation. But um, but anyway, let me get started. I um, I have a friend that's very similar in age to me. I'm 38 years old. I know that was my previous video, and some of you guys that keep up with me know that was the big question. I'm 38, and I know I owe some of you some pictures, but um, but anyway, I have a friend that when he was a young man, um, we were around the same, we were around the same age. So I remember when he went through some of this stuff. I just didn't really know the outcome of it because it's been a long time since I really communicated with him, really one on one. And when this gentleman was about 19 years old, um, we've been friends for a long time, or at least distant associates or acquaintances, but we've reconnected here lately. And when he was about 19 years old, he was convicted of a felony charge when he was, a young guy. And it's the situation that kind of made me feel like I needed to say something. Honestly, I just wanted to hear. It's not like this person knows I'm even doing this. If I did, or if he did, he might take offense to it, maybe. But he was about 19. Was living with a young lady that they got into an argument, and they lived together, and he had. They shared pretty much money, like a lot of us tend to do. They shared money and stuff. And when on his way to work, he would if he didn't have the cash on him, which is the way he told me, is that he didn't have cash on him, and he would write a $20 check for gas and cigarettes. And this is a long time ago. If you do the math, you'll know how long ago it was. But um, he would get gas and cigarettes. He could fill up his car and get a pack of smokes for like $20. Um, Well, anyway, they got into an argument, and when he started getting his things to leave, this young lady he was with, um, she decided to call the cops and say that somebody's writing my checks, and I know who it is. Well, she calls the cops, and she tells them that this gentleman is writing checks in my name, and I'd like to have him arrested. Well, from what he told me, neither one of them really knew the severity of the crime that apparently was being charged against him, and that charge was forgery, because he would sign her name on these checks. And he had done it 100 times, maybe not literally, but he said he had written numerous checks before, um, you know, 100 times, a bunch of times before, so he really never really thought too much about it. Well, the scorned girlfriend that he had, you know, um, said that she wanted to press charges, so the cops went and arrested this guy, and it's a felony, and law enforcement tends to take felonies a little more serious than most other crimes, and they picked him up, and he told me that when he went to jail, or they were taking him, he was wondering what was going on. He's still a young guy. He's like 19. He really don't know what's going on, and you know, when he got to jail, he had been living with this girl. So, he called her, like I think all of us probably would in that situation, and he asked her, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, this isn't like hot checks or something. They're gonna charge me with a felony, a forgery. And the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend or whatever, she started freaking out. She was like, oh my God, I had no idea that's what they were gonna do. And he said, well, clearly, drop the charges, fix it, please. I mean, whatever our relationship is, it wasn't worth this, and she felt the same way. I don't think she was really being malicious, and he doesn't think so either. But regardless, when the time came and, hired an attorney and all the crap that goes along with that, and I can't lie to any of you guys, I've had my brushes with the law in my lifetime, and some of you maybe will tell I'm a little rough around the edges, and I've had a hard life like this guy did too, and I think that's probably why we were friends 20 years ago, and we still talk now. And he told me that when the attorney got there, that they told him that there's nothing you can do about these charges. There's nothing that she can do about the charges. And, he clearly, he asked why. And apparently there were 2 checks over the span of maybe 2 weeks or 10 days, something like that. But these checks that he had written her name on for $20 a piece, which was 2 of them, so a total of $40. They told him that since the checks had went through the bank, that it was no longer a charge that could be dropped. It became a federal charge because the checks had gone through the bank. Now, from what he understood and from what I understand, which I've done a little bit of research before I did this, he said that that there was literally nothing that anyone can do, and the ex-girlfriend and her mother went up to the jail begging and pleading. They even went to court, but I'll get to that. They went to the jail begging and pleading, or, I guess for whatever that's worth, saying, hey, this is not what our intentions were to do, was to ruin someone's life for $40. And, then if they told them the same thing, there's nothing they can do. So, now, that course of action is dead. So the only other course of action is to go to court. And when he went to court, the mother and the ex-girlfriend was there, and of course he had to play nice. He couldn't just like bite off everybody's head because he wanted these charges to go away. So he was being as nice as he could, doing what he needed to do, and he literally told the judge that he was just guilty of being stupid, that he had no idea that this was that type of crime, that it was $40. It's not like he was truly, trying to rip people off. You could see records of other checks where nothing, it never mattered, but now it did. And it's just because they went through the bank and she pressed charges, or, I guess that's the word for it. She pressed her. She sought out some type of, retribution for those checks. So, even though she wanted to drop the charges, there's nothing that anyone could do. So, the judge apparently told him that I can send you to prison for 2 years if I wanted to, but I'm going to send you to prison for 1 year. And he did. He went to prison for a year. And he told me he ran for a while until they caught up to him and they took him to prison. And he's like me. He's from Texas, and I don't know if any of you guys know, unless you are maybe from Texas and have committed some type of big crime. Texas apparently doesn't have any type of expungement laws or anything to do to get rid of a felony from your record, which all other 49 states do have an expungement type clause in their laws, and Texas is the only state that doesn't. You know, so and this is the part I guess that made me or really compelled me to make this video is where and what has had happened to him in this time. And I don't know, it's for me to sit back and look on it, it's kind of sad. I don't know how many of you may know or not know, but once you get a felony on your record, you can't get houses, you can't get anything for rent, Lord knows you can't get any jobs. If it's against protocol, it's against protocol. There's nothing you can do about making a job hire you if you have just like a little bitty felony. And honestly, there really is no little felony. If you've been charged or gone to prison, when people do background searches, it's not like they know what crime you committed. They just know that you have a felony on your record. And it made me feel pretty sorry. And I don't know, to me it just felt like $40 is a very, very small amount of money to take someone's whole life away. And he's clearly struggled his whole life, worked really crappy jobs, has barely eked by, and I don't know. I guess what I want to hear or see what any of you think. Do you feel like this man has paid his debt to society? This person sees, he's kind of like me. He's aware of the Mandela Effect and stuff. I don't think that he's like me about it, but he's very aware of it and stuff like that. But I don't know. It makes him a certain type of person. It makes him see the world in a very negative way at times. And I don't know. I just kind of wanted to see what some of you thought about it. Do you feel like he got what he deserved to have his whole life ruined for $40? Or do you feel like it's kind of a bum rap for this guy to have his whole life destroyed for $40 when even the people's $40 it belonged to didn't even really want to do that to him in the first place? It's just, I guess, the law is the law kind of thing, I guess, and there's just nothing you can do about it. But I don't know. That's really all I really wanted to see, what some of you people thought about it and what you think. If you think that he got what he deserved, or if you think maybe he paid his price and maybe he should probably, I don't know, maybe get some of that lifted. Granted, there's nothing that anybody can do about it, and it's all just conversation that would lead nowhere. But I just thought it'd be something I kind of wanted to share with people that usually give me pretty good input, and a lot of you do. A lot of you know who you are. And I just wanted to know. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I just wanted to know what maybe some of you thought. And but anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. And if any of you want more description or more information on what happened, or maybe you want to ask something I might know the answer to. I don't know, but yeah, leave your comments. And again, I'm sorry, you guys, that I've been gone for so long. But yeah, hopefully things are going to get going back the way they used to. I'm going to try to, I got me a few subjects that I want to drop here very soon. So anyway, that's really basically it. And I hope I hear from a lot of you guys. I hope I didn't lose anyone. If I did, maybe I'll get them back. Maybe they'll see me pop up in the feed somewhere else. But I'm going to go ahead and go. And I appreciate you guys, and I'm going to tell you, like I told him, stay strong. That's all we can really do, right? Anyway, till next time, guys.